Hey everyone, we're out collecting fish. Hopefully we'll get some blennies and gobies and skilletfish. This is kind of the setup we use. We fish off of docks or places people fish. Wherever they dump oyster shells or shells like that, we tend to do our best there. You need a bucket. I have a rope tied to it so I can get the bucket and on it. Then I also test the water for salinity using a hydrometer. If we get some nice fish and want to get pictures, we have a specimen container that we can use. We have a bubbler hooked up to a cooler where we can keep water and keep our fish in. We're at our first spot. We didn't do very well here, so we're going to move to another spot. Generally, we know right away if we're going to get stuff or not based on the stuff we're scooping up. And off the end, there's a bunch of dead crabs and stuff, so it's kind of hard to collect the stuff we're after in that situation. But if you look in here, this is kind of like our cat. We set up a little table and a place to sit down and go through stuff because you have to be able to go through shells. So here's a razor clam with some barnacles on it. And there's a couple mud crabs in here. Here's a good sized mud crab. He's not big, but there's a mud crab, typical Harris mud crab, I believe, if you look at the fin claws. No, this is actually a black-fingered mud crab. This one, I believe, is a Harris mud crab. Yeah, see the white claws on him. And this one's got black claws if we look at it. No, that's a Harris. No, he's got black claws, black fingertips, and this one doesn't. So that's how you can tell the two. So I'm going to keep a couple of these. I want to get a bunch of them for the big tank. So we're going to transfer them into here, into our go-home tank, keeper tank. There's also a little tiny skilletfish. That's one of the fish we're after. Bottom there. I don't know how we're going to get him out of there, but we're going to try to collect him and bring him home. I think maybe I can get him to stick to my finger or something. Let's see, this is going to be tricky. He's kind of too small for the net. Yeah, he's on my finger. He's in my hand right here. Little tiny skillet fish. He's stuck to my finger now. So he's desirable. We're going to keep him, transfer him to the tank. Boy, that water got hot quick. It's not hot today. So, all right, off to the next spot. We'll give you more updates as we catch something. Okay, I forgot to mention that I made a crab trap. I mean a blenny trap. It's a fish trap, my own design, and I'm going to show it to you. Right in this bucket, we have some razor clams. They're supposedly fresh, but they don't look very alive to me, but we're going to keep them anyway. But I'm going to pull the trap up, and we weren't here very long. Let's see if they have it. If not, I want to show you what the trap. Oh, we got all kinds of fish in here.
Ooh, oh, wow.
Look at that. We've got mummichogs galore. One fish got out. Oh, my crab trap's working. I mean, my minnow trap. All right, so this is how I designed it. There's the funnel where they're getting in. And I wanted it at the bottom because they're benthic fish that I'm after. I don't think we got any blennies, but we got lots of minnows here. So the way I open it up is, got this bungee cord here. I just made it out of PVC pipe and hardware cloth. So we're going to open that up and then dump the fish into here. We got more mummichogs than you can shake a stick at. They really came in attractive. I was hoping to get some blennies, but I don't think we got any.
It's just mummichogs.
Just all mummichogs. Good size ones though. Look at the size of this guy. These are good snakehead bait right here. these mummichogs. Anyway, crab trap, you hang the bait in the middle, and it's basically a, you know, hardware cloth, and close it up. Fish go in here and they can't find their way out. All right, we're at another marina. On my net, let me just put a plug in for Jonah's Aquarium sells the perfect dip net. So I bought this, and I bought a bunch of extensions so I can get, and I have a really long handle, so I can reach way out to scoop. So we're gonna scoop and see what we can find. What I'm trying to do is scoop up oyster shells, or weeds, or both, or whatever I can get. Been getting a lot of razor clams and not as many oyster shells today. Inside the oyster shells we might find clingfish and gobies and blennies, and that's what we're after, is blennies. That's our main one. But so let's see what we can do. I can reach way out. I'm trying to dig down in the bottom and get those oyster shells. And then pull them up, put them in our little collecting observation bin, and let's see what we have. Let me get my, here, I'll take the video, and if you want to go through them, right?
Sure. So there's.
We'll get on the other side because our I'm keeping some oyster shells, not live ones, because I'm still building onto the reef. So I always check the oysters to see if there's any live anemones on them. I want to keep the anemones if I find them. I've collected anemones here before. So, skillet fish in there. Let's pull him out, Riley.
Where is he?
I don't know, I saw him in there somewhere. Let's lift up. There's a jellyfish in there, so Riley's a little bit tentative. So he's right in the corner there. We'll get a nice look at a skillet fish. He's a little guy.
There's another one in there too.
That's a target species, but I'd like to get some adults. These are little guys here. But that's what we do. I didn't scoop up a whole lot of shells that time, but if I can scoop up whole oyster shells, then I have a good shot at getting a plenty. So we'll get back to you later. I'm also looking for sticklebacks. As you can see, it's not very deep. This is part of the eastern bay of the Chesapeake Bay. There's some weeds there. We've caught mud crabs and things like that. But yeah, it's a pretty cool place though. And we're gonna go check out our final spot. I'll do some videos there, especially if we get something. So anyway, talk to you later. Okay, on that last scoop, we missed a fish, a blenny. We actually caught a blenny, and there he is. Riley's chasing him with the finger. And he got through our net. He's so small and tiny that he got through our net. So we got a target species, and he's big enough that I can feed and raise him. So I'm really excited. I got a tank for him. Okay, good. That's one on the books. All right, really quick shot of the blenny. There he is. Hold still. Oh. Ain't he cute? Okay, let's get him in the water. Okay, this time we got, this last scoop, we got a killifish, a mummichog probably. And we got some oysters for the to use in the reef, so not a total loss. But we're not after the killifish today. We're gonna get some sheep's head minnows, and we have a secret spot for them. It's not secret, but it's cool. There's a lot of stuff there, and we'll film that. Okay, we found a goby. This is a naked goby.
Cool.
Oh, Riley dropped it.
Hey, where did he go? Where'd you go? I promise he was here.
I scooped in a spot where I catch sticklebacks often, and we got our first goby of the day. Usually you catch a bunch of gobies.
Where did it go?
Let's lift it up and then see all the fish, and then you'll easily see them flopping around in there.
Here, can you hold it?
Yeah.
There he is.
All right. So that's a naked goby, one of our target species. We want to get a few of those today. we have another blenny. Let me come around here and let's zoom in. He's a little guy. He's a little bigger than the last one. So Riley's going to pick him up. There's a skilletfish in there too. Let's look. If we lift it up, would that help?
Got him. Gotcha. Come on.
Got him?
Come on. Yep.
All right, there's our little striped blenny. Cosmodes boschianus, little guy. All right, there's a skilletfish in there too, and some shrimp, some grass shrimp. Here's the skilletfish. Let's see if I can get him in the video. There he is.
There are a couple in there.
Can you tap the screen, Riley, to focus it? Because I've got both hands taken up. There we go. Yeah, there's a couple skilletfish. These are a little bigger than the ones we've been catching, but we want adults. So the other thing we want to do is check these oyster shells. The ones that have life on them, often this one has live barnacles. Riley, can you hit the one on there?
One?
My hands are wet, it won't work. Okay, so this oyster shell has a lot of life on it. It's got some algae and some barnacles, so we'll keep that. There's another naked goby. So we've got 3 gobies. We found another one. And
How many did we want?
3. So we got our limit of gobies. Now we need more blennies, as many blennies as we can get. Can't have enough blennies. And then we want sticklebacks too, but we have not found any sticklebacks yet. Let's see what we got. There's a skilletfish in there. I can see it already. Algae. I'm gonna take these oyster shells out and see if there's any life on them, like anemones. That's what I'm looking for. I have enough barnacles and stuff like that. There's a barnacle in there. That's just a rock. Huh.
A rock.
Didn't get many fish that time. Oh, there's a goby, I think. I saw a fish.
You did? Oh.
Yeah, so.
There are a couple of skilletfish in there.
Okay, that's cool. Let's get the oysters out. I don't see any anemones on them.
I see him.
There's one with a mussel shell, but I'm not going to keep that today. All right, I'm going to lift this up. I think we have enough gobies and stuff. Oh, that wasn't a goby, it was a killifish. There's the killifish. Where's the skilletfish?
There are a couple of smaller ones. There's one right here.
Okay. Well, no blennies that time. These killifish are mamachogs, and I'm sure that our fish trap is going to have some mamachogs in it when we pull it up. Well, we're going to try a few scoops. We've got 2 blennies here, so I'm hoping to get some adult blennies. I'd like to get a couple of adult blennies because I want them to go into the Oyster Reef tank after a quarantine period. So the little ones will go into, I'll keep them safe, separated from the larger fish. I don't want them to get eaten, I want them to grow, and they're going to do well. But I'm going to try a couple more scoops here and then we're going to move. Okay folks, we found several anemones. So Riley found another one here. Let's put it in the water really quick. And you can see that it's an anemone with the tentacles. They're all folded in. It's right by her thumb. And then she's going to pull it out. And when you pull them out, they look like a blob. But That's a bent anemone that is native to the Chesapeake Bay. At the same spot, we just moved to a deeper area, and we did get another little tiny blenny, what I thought was a baby toadfish, but I don't know what it was. We wound up letting it go. But Riley has a pipefish. We've caught several of these today, and there's a little pipefish common to the Chesapeake. We don't keep them because it's, at least right now, until I have a good food source, it's very hard to keep them alive. They need live food. Later. All right, you can see, I don't know, I got about a dozen mud crabs, 5 or 6 shrimp. There may be a couple more in the other bucket, but these guys are going to go in the tank. I'm going to release them right now, and then I'll show some clips of what's in that tank right now. Okay, I've released the crabs and shrimp in here. We haven't had shrimp in here in a while. They either jump out of the tank or the fish eat them over time. There's a skillet fish on top of a oyster shell that has some barnacles and mussels on it. There's a sea anemone on there somewhere. Here's one of the mud crabs I released in the tank. That's a Harris mud crab. Naked goby, which was already in the tank. There's another one. There's some more oysters and barnacles and things like that. And somewhere on one of these other rocks or shells is another sea anemone. Here's a sea anemone. See if I can get it to focus. Right there. I just fed the fish vibrobites, so those will all get eaten up. There's some more stuff I introduced to the tank. So lots of cool sea life anyway. Barnacles, mussels, sea anemones, probably an assortment of root worms and amphipods and all kinds of cool stuff. All this is going to go into the main tank. The crabs and the shrimp. There's a hermit crab that I found in Saxis, Virginia on the Chesapeake Bay. I'd like to make a trip back there. So this is the current oyster reef. That's all this stuff's gonna go in the big tank. The fish are gonna go into quarantine and treat them for parasites or potential parasites. And I'll show you them in a little bit. Okay, here's an assortment of skillet fish and gobies, and there's a couple blennies in there. There should be 3, I hope. You never know during transport what happens. The naked gobies are pretty large, so they're going to get released in the tank along with the larger skillet fish. The really tiny stuff, I think I'm going to put in a little breeder tank. And there's some kind of amphipod or something swimming around in there too. There's a grass shrimp in there. The water's murky in this. This is the bay water that they came in. But there's the shrimp I have to get out. But I want to keep the smaller fish separated from the larger fish so they don't get eaten until they get a little bigger. Let's see how that works. I'll film again once I get them into the quarantine tank. Hey everyone, here's a look at some of the fish that I collected today. Those are a couple naked gobies. They seem to be doing okay. I haven't fed them or anything yet. Sorry, the glass is not that great as far as being clean. I need to do that. But I don't know. I think there's probably 6 naked gobies in here. I'm not sure where they all are, but there's one there. There's one there. One on the wall. Oh, there's one back under the filter under there. So everybody seems to be doing okay. Let's check on the blennies. They're gonna be a little harder to see. There's one there that seems to be doing okay. But at any rate, I wanted to give you the blennies and the little teeny skillet fish are in my little breeder tank thing until they get a little bigger. I'm just afraid these guys might try to eat them, so because their mouths are kind of big, and these are adult gobies. So I'm gonna feed them tonight and see how they do. All right, feeding the gobies some mysis shrimp. They seem pretty active. Let's try the little, see if the blennies eat any of them. I'm gonna put a few in there. I can't tell, but let's take a look and see what happens. Looks like they might be trying to eat. It's kind of hard to tell. Can't see much. Gobies are sure eating though, so that's a good sign. All right, for the little fish, I think I'm gonna try some frozen baby brine shrimp. It's kind of hard to tell what they're doing. I can't really see. Looks like they're trying to eat. Okay. It's like everybody's happy. Yeah, they're eating. So I'm happy with that. The new fish are enjoying their meal. Oh, it looks like we got 6 gobies out. They all came out to play. 1, 2, 3, 4. We got 7 gobies in there, at least. More than I wanted to catch. But it's okay. There'll be plenty of room for them in that bigger tank. So in a couple weeks of quarantine, I will move them to a new environment. Hopefully by then I'll have my big tank up and running, and that's where they'll be living.